How you guys doing? Western Month Part 3, Scream 4 review coming soon. But we're going to finish up Western Month real quick. I don't really want to do another Western Month. I don't really have any other Westerns I need to watch anyway, so I'm just going to finish it off here. So, thank you guys who have been watching my Western Month. Let's talk about News of the World, Tombstone, and The Hateful Eight. Let's talk about News of the World first, I guess. I didn't really like this movie very much. This is a movie that's directed by Paul Greengrass. I don't think I've seen any of his other previous films. Probably should. I know the name, so maybe I have and just don't remember them. But this is a movie that I picked up during Black Friday on 4K because it was $10. And I remember when this movie came out during 2020, I kind of wanted to see it because it was one of the movies that people were talking about during that year when nothing was coming out, but my theaters were closed, didn't get to watch it. I think it was on demand, but I don't like watching movies like that, so I didn't watch it. And picked it up on 4K, and I finally sat down to watch it, and it was okay. It's kind of a generic Western story where this guy has to take care of this girl and blah blah blah. It's not very interesting. It's a beautiful looking movie. The cinematography is really pretty, and Tom Hanks is good. I always have a hot take with Tom Hanks where I'm not into him, because my thing about Tom Hanks is he gives great performances, sure, but it's a generic to say that, and what bugs me about saying that is he kind of doesn't really do anything that phenomenal anymore. He feels like he sleepwalks through his performances now. He just shits out great performances now, kind of, and he's just not interesting to me anymore. And I still hate that he gets so many Oscar nominations for movies stuff. I was really glad he didn't get one for this movie when it was kind of time to talk about that, because he's already won. I think he's won twice. He's been nominated so many times, it's just not fair anymore. And Tom Hanks is a good actor, but he's had enough, And he's one of those actors, he's so good that even if they didn't nominate him, he would get the recognition he deserves anyways. People love Tom Hanks. And I love certain movies with him, and I love performances he's given. I just don't love him as much as some other actors. And I know people go, well, what's wrong? He gives great performances still, right? Yeah, I don't know. I would say, yeah, he does, but I don't know. People might say, well, it's generic to say certain other actors give great performances like Samuel L. Jackson, but at least their performances are very interesting and distinct and different from each other, so I don't know. That's how I feel about that. Let's talk about Tombstone. Incredible movie. One of the greatest Westerns I think ever made. Val Kilmer is incredible in this movie. By the way, if you have not seen Val, the documentary about Val Kilmer that is on Amazon Prime, holy shit, you need to see that. That is incredible. But Val Kilmer and Kurt Russell are incredible in this movie, and we're going to talk about another movie with Kurt Russell that's a Western in another minute. They play these characters so great, well distinct. I love this movie a lot. There's a lot of quotable lines to this movie. It's beautifully shot. The cinematography is beautiful in this movie. There's so many shots I remember. The costume design is incredible in this movie. The score to this movie, like I said, the performances, just, I don't know, the pacing of this movie is perfect. Just everything about this movie is great. If you have not seen Tombstone, it's one of those movies you just gotta watch. It's just incredible. The action is incredible. The story is incredible. The dialogue is incredible. Just great movie. And the same could be said about The Hateful Eight. This is now my 4th Tarantino movie I've seen, so I need to see about 5 more, and then I've officially seen all of his movies. This is the longest of his films that I've seen, I think, or maybe Once Upon a Time's Hollywood longer. I really enjoyed this movie. I think this is probably my second favorite Tarantino movie. Actually, yeah, I'll say my second favorite, because this movie was a lot of fun. Samuel L. Jackson was incredible in this movie. Kurt Russell was incredible. The entire cast was incredible. what's really great about this movie is, Quentin Tarantino writes incredible dialogue. He really does. And so a lot of this movie, it's 3 hours long, but there are literally just so many scenes of people just talking, having this banter back and forth. And there's not really anything much more than just these people sitting down, having a conversation. But it's so unbelievably engaging and enthralling because Quentin Tarantino's dialogue is incredible and his direction's incredible. This movie looks beautiful. The dialogue really adds a lot to this movie, and the cinematography, just absolutely incredible looking movie, stunning from beginning to end. The score to this movie is incredible, and what's really cool about this movie is it very much feels like a movie that would have come out in the 60s, like a 60s kind of western. Like Django Unchained very much felt like a modern western. Like, there's I think there's like rap music in the score. There's other things like that. And not to say that isn't like modern modern music that wouldn't fit in a western time period, basically. Not necessarily that the music itself in the movie's modern, just that it wouldn't fit the time period the movie set in. Plays in this movie, things like that. But Django Unchained had that a lot more, and it very much felt like a movie that was made, very modernly. This doesn't. It feels like a movie that's made very much in the 60s. It very much felt like a classic western, just updated and made to perfection. One of the greatest, I think, Tarantino films there is. I absolutely enjoyed it. I know some people say Django Unchained was one of his best, but be honest, I think this one's even better. I think this one's fantastic. Absolutely adored this film. Probably gonna watch The Hateful Eight a bazillion more times. Just a great, great, great movie. I need to watch. Next time I have 3 hours to spend, I will be watching The Hateful Eight again. That's all I can say. But that's going to do it for my Western month. I was really glad I finally watched this. One of the things I was really glad about finally watching these films is, getting to some Tarantino I hadn't seen. Tarantino is a director that, unfortunately, has been a blind spot in my movie connoisseuring, which I kind of hate that. And so it felt really good to finally go back, fill in the gaps of that connoisseuring, and just take care of that and fix the certain movies that I'd missed in that. And I adored all the films that I watched, except for this one. And for the most part, I loved every single one of the movies I watched, which was I guess I didn't like Shanghai Noon and Shanghai Nights that much, but the rest of them I absolutely loved. Had a great time. Thank you guys for watching my videos. I appreciate Little Media for starting this event and, inviting the fans to enjoy this Western month. It was great.